Hello, and welcome to the Dr. TOOMER Talks Show. I'm Dr. Catherine Toomer, family medicine and community health physician, and founder of Total Weight Care Institute, where I help people with complete and compassionate weight care maximize their health and wellness through weight loss. And I also teach physicians compassionate and weight care for their patients so that they can enjoy total weight care while also enjoying financial freedom and time autonomy. So I have a question for you. How many of you are tired? Show of hands. How many of you are tired most days? Show of hands. So I'm going to talk a little bit about being tired because there's different types of tired, and I often get a lot of questions about how to increase my energy. How do I not be tired? How do I get more energy? How do I feel better? And there's different types of tired. Now, I always say there's a tired that all you have to do is take a nap and you feel better. And then there's a tired that requires peace. It requires time on a beach, maybe, or just time alone in a dark room with nobody bothering you. And I'm going to talk a little bit about both because both of those type of tired will zap your energy. And there's some simple steps that you can do to try and get that back. There's some things that about how to figure out what the cause of the tiredness is, and then other things that you can do to try and do something about it right away. And the number one thing that makes people tired that I see most frequently ignored is hydration. Being dehydrated makes you tired, makes you really, really tired. And it's the easiest thing to make you untired is hydration. Simply drinking water. Drinking water for continuously throughout the day will take that fatigue away. Now, not everybody can just go from drinking no water to drinking some water. And so sometimes it takes adding some flavor, adding some fruit juice, some type of lemon or lime, or some non-sugar sweetener, some type of flavoring, and that's fine. But it's important to get that fluid in. And the general rule of thumb is you drink about half your body weight in ounces up to a gallon. So I'm going to repeat that again. The amount of water you need in a day is about half your body weight in ounces up to a gallon. So, for example, I weigh what? I'll just round it off to 120 pounds. Half my weight is 60. Now, 60 ounces is a little bit low. So I would say anything from 64 ounces to a gallon. But I usually drink more than that. The also way of knowing if you're drinking enough fluid is to check your urine. If your urine is clear, light yellow to clear, you're drinking enough. If it's dark yellow to starting to get dark to brown and orange, then it's really bad, and that means your kidneys are being affected, and so you might want to talk to your doctor. But drinking water, drinking fluids up to half your body weight in ounces, if it's a gallon or less, is what you should have each day. And so, yes, hydration is number one. That's the most overlooked. And the beautiful thing about hydration is that you can fix it rather quickly. And although the other thing about hydration, it changes from day to day, your status changes. So as soon as you lie down and you diurese, meaning that your body gives off fluid, which is why we all go to the bathroom when we first wake up, then you have to start the day all over again. So it's a daily activity to stay hydrated. Number two is making sure that there's no underlying medical issue. People often will say they're tired, and that is a very legitimate diagnostic or symptom that needs to be addressed. Again, hydration, yes, can be part of it, but We always need to know when someone is fatigued. Now, of course, there's some things I'll talk about later regarding sleep, but there are other things that are important, that are very significant, that we should look into to make sure that there's no underlying anemia, which basically means your blood counts are low. And blood counts are low for a couple of reasons. It could be nutritional, from not eating enough food that has iron in it. It can be because of blood loss. In women who are menstruating, that's usually the most common reason. And for men, the most common reason is GI loss, meaning gastrointestinal slow leaking blood. Now, when a man leaks blood from GI reasons, the first thing we think of is colon cancer. So, if you are a man and you are tired, you need to get blood tests, because if you are anemic, that means you also need a colonoscopy. And doesn't matter how old you are, at any age, no man should be anemic, especially if he's eating properly. So that's number one for medical conditions. Another medical condition that causes fatigue is low thyroid function, or hypothyroidism. That's a very easy test, a very easy blood test to get that checked, and it should be done annually. Autoimmune diseases also can cause fatigue, make you tired. Now, the thing with autoimmune diseases is that they usually also cause some other issues like joint pain, rashes, other secondary symptoms. So, just tiredness alone isn't something to worry about, like autoimmune, meaning like rheumatoid arthritis or lupus, or other things that can cause our bodies to sort of fight against itself, because that's what autoimmune means. It's our immune system fighting against ourselves. And so that can happen, and it can make you very tired. But that, again, is a blood test that can be checked for, and it usually requires some suspicion on your practitioner's part to check for that in the blood. Another thing that makes us very tired, and many of us women and even men of a certain age recognize this, and that is menopause. The lowering of the hormone that makes us us, basically estrogen in women and testosterone in men, can make you tired. And so getting those checked and then getting those replaced is often all it takes to get that fatigue to go away. Another is metabolic issues. When we have a problem metabolizing carbohydrates, starches, and we have a problem with blood sugar, with glucose. I talk about this a lot. Carbohydrates being broken down into blood sugars, and our blood sugar can go high. It's one of the reasons why people get very, very sleepy after eating. Some of that is oxygenation for digestion, yes, but much of that can be because of surges in blood sugar. And your overall blood sugars may be normal, but just you may have what's called insulin resistance, or you could be pre-diabetic or diabetic, and the only indication is that you're tired. And so just by getting your blood sugar checked is enough to point that out and get that diagnosed so that you can do something about it. Our moods can make us tired. Depression makes you very, very tired, and it just feels like you're sluggish, like you're pushing through molasses through the day. And so getting screened for depression, there are screening tests, and you can ask your doctor for one. You can even look one up online and check yourself, but that will also make you very, very tired. Another is heart disease. Sometimes the only sign of heart disease is fatigue. Every time you try and function, your heart has to pump and supply blood to the rest of the body. If there's any problem with the heart that makes it unable to do that efficiently, it will make you tired. Usually arrhythmias are one, either slow heart rate or heart rate that's irregular. What's called afibrillation can do that. And so sometimes just getting an annual EKG can sometimes pick that up. But if you're feeling tired, just going to your doctor, that's usually one of the tests they do, particularly if you have a family history and you're at risk for heart disease. Another type of heart disease that can cause an issue is congestive heart failure. There are blood tests that can pick that up. And there are also other tests like an echocardiogram that can pick that up. So again, being tired is a reason to seek out help from your doctor to find out the reason why. And before I continue, I'm just going to say hello to Sharon and Sergio and Chris. Thank you for coming and thank you for saying hello. If you're watching right now, please tell me where you're watching from. Say hello. Tell me where you're watching from. And if you watch later, just put in hashtag replay so I know that you joined me at some point and I can just keep track. It's kind of nice to know where people are coming from and that they're listening. So, number 1 was hydration. Number 2 was underlying medical conditions. Number 3 is sleep. Now, that makes sense. If you don't get enough sleep, then you're definitely going to be tired. And so, getting enough sleep will definitely boost your energy. And it's not just any sleep. It's really deep restorative sleep is what we need. And so there are certain things that will disrupt this restorative sleep. One of them is sleep apnea. And the way that we can have sleep apnea often is related to weight and being overweight. And that's why weight is a health issue. And that's why we focus on it so much, not because we care about size, because size really doesn't matter. It's only if it affects your health. And sleep apnea is one of those ways that our size does that. But to get good sleep, there's a few things that we can do in order to get sleep and really good sleep and routinely get good sleep. One of those is to try to go to sleep at the same time every evening so that we can get at least 8 hours. Some of us need more. In fact, studies are showing that women need more than 8 hours of sleep per night in order to get restorative sleep. And so just going to bed at the same time every night so that whatever time you need to wake up, it's 8 hours later, at least. Having an evening routine so that your brain sort of understands that when you start doing those things, it means that you're starting to wind down. Our brain loves routines. So when we do certain things and we connect them, then what happens is our body starts to relax and gets us ready for sleep. But that also means putting away electronics at least an hour before. The stimulation of being either the emotional stimulation from being online and seeing stuff you don't want to read, or the brightness and the flashing of television or screen or videos, all those things are stimulating. And if you stimulate yourself right before going to bed, it is going to disrupt your sleep. And so it's really important then to not interact with electronics before bed. Being in a dark room is another thing that will help. Light disrupts our sleep. Our brain takes light as an indication that we should be waking up. And so when you're trying to sleep, being in a dark space is always best. Being in a room that is of a good temperature, if you're too hot or too cold, it will disrupt your sleep. Having soothing sounds can help you with good sleep. Like sometimes, Tibetan flute music or white noise of some kind, listening to ocean sounds or rain, that always helps. Our brain just loves the connection between sound and rhythmic sound and white noise and sleep. The other is having some type of cleaning routine. Your face, washing your face, and then maybe having a face hygiene routine, brushing your teeth. That is also helpful. And then also being in a clean space. Not having a lot of clutter, not having a lot of things around you while you're sleeping, so that when you move, things fall or make noise, or because that will also disrupt your sleep. So number 1 was hydration. Number 2 was medical conditions and making sure there's nothing underlying. And then number 3, to help boost your energy and to get rid of fatigue, is sleep. Number 4 is calories. Yes, food. Now, we all know if you eat certain things late at night, like spicy food, it can disrupt your sleep because it has, causes certain dreams. But what I'm talking about more or less is calories. If you're very tired and you don't have a lot of energy, interestingly enough, many times what we'll do is we'll eat. And the reason that is, it's almost intuitive knowing that we're not getting enough energy from the food we're eating. Now, not eating enough will make you tired, so eating more will actually add energy as long as you're eating the right things. Now, eating the wrong things, like eating too much of carbohydrates when you have a metabolic issue that where you can't metabolize carbohydrates very well, like having insulin resistance or having prediabetes or diabetes, then yeah, eating too much of carbohydrates could cause an issue. However, eating other things like protein, high fiber things, nut butters, fruit, um, crackers with cheese, and different things, those things can help give you calories so that you have more energy throughout the day. Now, also the timing of when you eat that food can be helpful. If you eat more throughout the day and less in the at end of your day, then of course, then you kind of waste that energy that you're getting, and it's all going to happen while you're sleeping. You want to be able to use that energy throughout the day as you're going through your day, and so eating enough, and again, not eating too much. Of the wrong thing, but also not eating too much at once. Having enough calories spread out throughout the day is better than having the same amount of calories confined to one or concentrated in one or two meals. And so, because what that does, it allows your body to digest the food slowly throughout the day, and it will help you sleep later. It will help just with your digestion, and you're less likely then to have a lot of things going on when your body's trying to slow down at night or when you're sleeping. Also, um, eating too little fat. Now, the reason this is an issue is because, like I mentioned earlier, one of the issues that we run into with disrupting sleep or making us tired is a drop in our hormones, particularly estrogen for women and testosterone for men. Now, the way that our body makes those hormones is with cholesterol. It's from the fat we eat. So if we don't eat enough fat, our body cannot make the very hormone we need in order to keep our energy up. And so that's why it's important to not eliminate fat from your diet, because there are things that our body needs fat for, body structures like around our nerves, and but particularly making the hormones that kind of give us the energy we need in order to get through our day. And then number 5, another one that I talk a lot about is mood. The way we boost our energy is paying attention to our stress levels. Stress will sap our energy every day, all day. It's just really, really, really important to focus on ways of mitigating stress and doing that every single day. Um, Stress affects everything else. It affects how your body utilizes food. It affects your sleep. It affects how your body functions, so other medical conditions. And so, really, if there's two things you could just focus on and nothing else, it would be staying hydrated and mitigating stress. If you take care of your stress, there are so many other things that will fall into place, and that your energy level will shoot sky high if you take care of your stress levels. And again, the way to do that, like I talk about many, many times, is there's the immediate stress reduction, the intermediate stress reduction, and the long-term stress reduction. With the immediate, you want to basically take care of cortisol, drop it as quickly as you can. And the way to do that is by having different activities that do that, like deep yoga breathing, or even yoga, or meditation, prayer, slow rhythmic movements like dancing, walking. Those type of things will bring your cortisol levels way down. Going outside in the sun, just writing in a gratitude journal of all the things that are good things that have happened throughout the day. Those all will help with immediately bring your cortisol levels down. Your intermediate level is to then stop your body from reacting to stress. And the way to do that is often takes a little more time, a little more effort. Therapy can help with that. Sometimes it requires medication. Um, and different types of physical activities like Tai Chi, yoga, Pilates can also help. And then the long-term stress reduction and stress management, again, is removing the stressor altogether. And sometimes it's easier said than done. But over time, if you know your job is what's causing you stress, you just manage your life basically in a way so that you can remove the stress from your life and set boundaries. And you learn how to set boundaries with people that are toxic, in work environments that are toxic, in a home that it may be difficult. And so that's how you take care of stress long term. So, again, ways to boost your energy are essentially ways of removing fatigue. And the ways to do that is number one, hydration. Number two, making sure there is no underlying medical condition like anemia, thyroid, heart disease, menopause. I call it menopause because of dropping of testosterone, metabolic. There was one that I missed, medications. There are some medications that will make you tired. And it's important to talk to your doctors if you think that one of your medications may make you sleepy. A lot of times, pain medications, there are different types of heart medications. There are anti-inflammatory medications that can all make you very tired. And so sometimes just changing your medication can help boost your energy. So number one, hydration. Number two, medical conditions. Number three is sleep and getting enough of it. Of course, that's very intuitive. We know this, but it's easier said than done. Number four is eating enough calories and eating the right type of calories, fiber, protein, avoiding simple sugars, simple carbohydrates, particularly if you have a metabolic issue that makes it difficult for you to metabolize carbohydrates, because then that makes your blood sugar go up and that will make you tired and it will zap your energy. And then number five, managing your life, managing your stress. Those are the things that will zap your energy again. And so all those things, by taking care of them and paying attention, will help boost your energy levels. So before I continue, I do want to say hello to the people who have joined me. Chris, thank you again. Emma, Kimberly, Sharon, Cassandra from Texas, Loretta from Virginia. I got Sharon from Houston, Texas, from Kimberly from Louisiana, Emma from Kentucky, Jennifer, hello, and Michelle from Brooklyn, Ursuline, good evening. Thank you for coming, and thank you, Aunt Cynthia, for joining in. And yes, you're welcome. So if you have any questions, now would be the time. I know I went through stuff rather quickly, and so I just want to give you an opportunity to ask me questions. It can be about this topic or others. Joyce from Louisiana and Janine from Georgia, thank you for joining. So if you have questions, Jacqueline from Los Angeles, I know I'm just kind of going through them all. If you have questions, please ask me now, or you can write them in the comments. But what I do ask you for two things. One, subscribe to my YouTube channel, mine or blackdoctor.org YouTube channel, in order to catch these every week, Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern. And every week is a different topic. And if there's a particular topic that you want me to talk about, you can send me a message. I do read my YouTube messages. So please just send me a message and I'll get it, and I'll just do a live on that topic. The other is I have now opened up my program to help people who are looking for help for their health. It is a online, 100% virtual, direct weight care. And what I do is I create individualized programs for people to find out the cause of their issues. Now, weight is just a symptom. I've said this many times, but there's always something that causes that symptom. And what I do is I look for that cause and then go after it, and then help create a plan so that you can, whatever you do now, you could be able to do when you're 90, because if it's too extreme and anything falls away, then all the benefit, all the progress you've made will all go away. And so it's really important that it's a realistic doable, actionable program designed for you, because all of us have different reasons. All of us have different things that can impact us. And it's important that you have someone with the expertise, experience, and the education to help you, to help navigate you through all of those steps. So Jacqueline says lupus. So I'm assuming that you mean you'd like me to talk about lupus, or was there something else more specific? Sharon says, how does prediabetes impact vision? Thank you. Prediabetes impacts vision for a couple of reasons. One of the things that prediabetes does more so than with diabetes is that our blood sugars tend to shoot up and come down, shoot up and come down. With diabetes, they shoot up and stay up. And with prediabetes, they eventually come back down. However, anytime our blood sugar goes up, our body tries to regulate it by by making sure that it gets diluted as best they can. So when your blood sugar goes up, your body will push water wherever blood sugar is the highest. One of those places is fluid in our eyes. So when your body pushes fluid, it changes the configuration, the size, and the shape of your eye, and that affects your lens, which also then affects your vision. The other thing that diabetes does, it attacks nerves. Blood sugar attacks the nerve. Our eye is one ball at the end of a very big nerve, our optic nerve. So when blood sugar attacks nerves and those nerves aren't as efficient, then clearly, things start to happen. It happens more rapidly with vision than it does in other places. It can happen in our fingertips, our toe tips, cause tingling, numbness. It can happen in our tongue and affect our taste buds. So, blood sugar, prediabetes, all of those things affect nerves. They affect fluid shifts, and all of those things can affect our eye. The other thing is that our lens is also very sensitive to different nutrients, and so that can also be affected. Oh, Michelle's tagging someone. So I think Jacqueline, you're asking about lupus. Yes, I can do a talk about lupus. What lupus is an autoimmune disease. And like I said, what autoimmune means is our immune system going a bit haywire and attacking us in ways that it shouldn't. And one of the symptoms of lupus, depending on the type, is often end stage. It can affect kidneys. It can affect any connective tissue really in the body. But one of the things that happens, you get what's called a butterfly rash, and you'll get a rash on your face. So that's sometimes the only sign we'll see. And so Joy says, in recent years, I have trouble seeing far away. The best thing to do is talk to your doctor to make sure that there's no underlying reason, but then just get your eyes checked. Talk to an ophthalmologist. Now, there's a difference between an optometrist and an ophthalmologist. An optometrist is a doctor of optometry, which means what they do is they talk about vision only and help you get glasses. Ophthalmologists actually know the structure of your eye. They're doctors of the eye. They do surgery. They do all sorts of testing. And so the best thing to do is to see an ophthalmologist. They can also tell you if you need glasses as well, but you get the benefit of many more years of experience and many more years of expertise to make sure there's no underlying disease. And so when I get my eyes checked, that's who I go to, an ophthalmologist. And then, especially if you have diabetes, you should see an ophthalmologist once a year at least. Sharon says, thank you for the clarity, Dr. Toomer. I now understand. You're welcome. Can lupus be cured? I've had it for many years, and I take an infusion called Benelista. Lupus, depending on the type of lupus, and depending on, yes, it can be cured sometimes. There are different types that can be using stem cell treatment. Now, I can tell you lupus is a rheumatologic disease. Mostly rheumatologists know way more about that than I do. However, lupus, when it cannot be cured, it can definitely be controlled. So you can control the symptoms, control the inflammation, take really good care of yourself in terms of nutrition and exercise and optimizing different ways so that you won't have lupus flares. But that is definitely a question for your rheumatologist. But it does require a lot of dedication and on your part. What is meant by connective tissue disease? Connective tissue disease. So basically, connective tissue is what holds our cells together. There is between every single one of our cells and also between our joints. It's any place where you have two organs or two cells or two anything that need to be held together. You have connective tissue that does that. It's in our skin. It's in our gums. It's everywhere. So when you have connective tissue disease, depending on the type, one or more of those connective tissue types can be affected, either because your body's fighting, sees it as a foreign object and so goes after it. And so it thinks it's a virus or a bacteria and it starts attacking it, saying it's not supposed to be in your body. And so when that happens, you get inflammation and you get a lot of wear and tear and breakdown of that area. And so usually what happens when you have connective tissue disease, it's treated by stopping your immune system from doing what it normally does because it's gone haywire. And so that's what that is. But it can affect every single part of your body when it's out of control. Jacqueline says, I'm on Benlysta. I'm not as familiar. It's probably some type of what's called a biologic that helps with boosting whatever part of your body is necessary in order to fight the immune system, or it slows down whatever immune process is causing you problems. Shirley says, thank you very much. I've never had a flare ever. Good for you. Hello, Dr. Una. Thank you for joining. Hazel says hello. Thank you. And Jacqueline says, thank you. I'll see you next week. Well, thank you for joining this week. So are there any more questions? I'm about to tune up. Now, just to remind you, again, if you want, I have many videos now. I think we're up to like 120 videos on YouTube. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel and see some of my older videos if you need to. You can write to me there and send me messages. I read my comments. And if you have topics that you'd like me to speak on, and if you want, you can also go to my website, drtoomer.com, and contact me there as well. I have opened up my program. So if you're interested in getting help with weight health, you can contact me for a consultation and we can talk and see. And if I'm not the right doctor for you, I will hopefully have someone I can send you to or let you know if you even need my help at all. So, all right. Well, thank you for joining again, Dr. Toomer. And this is Dr. Toomer Talks. Woodson Cherry says, smoking causes cancer and lung burn. I never had flare, though I have taken care of most patients here in Dallas, Texas. I'm glad you are here. Oh, thank you, Woodson. Thank you. Hazel says, my first time here. Hopefully I will catch you again. Like I said, here every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern. So wherever you are, Hazel, thank you for joining in. And like I said, if you go to my YouTube channel, you can subscribe there. And I have lots of old videos. You can see all of my older episodes and you'll catch my new episodes there as well. So again, well, thank you so much for joining. And I will see you next week on Dr. Toomer Talks.